He's ultra. He's American, very American, and he plays tabletop role-playing games. TTRPG. He's the ultra American TTRPG. Yeah. So fucking ultra American. Yeah, he's American. Yeah, he's American. It's solo time. You drop the dime. So come on in. Let the show begin. We've got you covered. It's game day, brother. And sisters too. Have we got an ultra show for you? He's ultra, so ultra. He's American, very American, and he plays tabletop role-playing games. TTRPG. He's the ultra American TTRPG. Yeah. So fucking ultra American. Yeah, he's American. Let's solo because YOLO, and you don't wanna be some bro ho, you know. Yeah, you fucking know. So let's go. On with the show. He's ultra, so ultra. He's American, very American, and he plays tabletop role-playing games. TTRPG. He's the ultra American TTRPG. Yeah. So fucking ultra American. Yeah, he's American.
Good evening, everyone. It is I, once again, Hunter, aka the Ultra American TTRPGer, aka the Jim Jones of Classic Gaming, which I still like to use every now and then because of the joke that came around for that. But without about that for me today. I hope everyone has been staying warm. The ice and snow has melted away finally where I lived after the crazy weekend that I had. And I guess I should say before I start talking to her, I have a special guest with me making her debut on my stream tonight. The one, the only, the lovely Harmony Ginger. How you doing today?
Hi, pretty good. Man, it sucks to hear about the cold. Gotta
Did,
say.
did you get any snow or anything over the past week or anything?
No, I'm in Florida.
Oh, lucky. Yeah.
I did once run a campaign, an RPG campaign that was set in a frozen wasteland, and it was online. So I was like communicating with my players over Discord, and I realized at some point, I'm sitting here as a Floridian in 80-degree weather, telling you like Northerners and Canadians what winter feels like. It was great.
Yeah, winter in the States and winter in Canada are two completely different things. So if you ask
Yeah.
them.
Oh yeah. From that's what I understand. It's warm here.
Yep. And so I was asking you earlier behind the scenes, I was asking you about your Godstein, how that was going around and all that. And you said you had an interesting game that you were doing today, too. So why don't you tell us about that real quick?
So I actually just got out of the game. So they had just completed like this great adventure and they're back in town. And all they wanted to do, they're in like the casino capital of the world, owned by the god of luck and trickery. And all they wanted to do was play slot machines. And I was like, okay. So you guys, you go to the casino, you see all sorts of slot machines, you see dice tables, you see people playing poker, and you see this like weird group over there over this this like cardboard dungeon, and they all have little minis that they're moving. There's a guy behind the DM screen, and he's narrating for them. And then they looked, and later the group was gone, and they're like, "What's going on?" And so I had the guy be like this very neckbeardy DM, and he's like, "Hey, you want to join my game?" And we're like, "Yeah, we want to play meta Dungeons and Dragons." So they went in, and of course he like teleported them to a dungeon where they could see him like lording over them, making terrible dungeon master quips, and they were like, "We hate this DM, it sucks." And they were like trying to shoot things at him and stuff, but it was like a casino dungeon. They had to fight a slot machine elemental, or a slot machine golem, and some luck elementals and stuff. It was fun. But we had like roulette games and stuff. Oh man, they were they were so mad. They're getting him in trouble for like murder, I believe, because I think he murdered the last group. But like in the casino capital of my Godstein world, you see it's not murder if it's part of a game. It's like just normal, I guess. I don't know. It was very stupid, but it was kind of a very relaxed, chill session after a big adventure.
Yeah, that's nice. I know
Mhm.
the Barrows and Borderlands game that I'm a part of, I was telling you that I'm part of, was Shadow and Sun, bi-weekly Thursdays. The
Mm.
first week we played, we went into this house because there was quote unquote supernatural occurrences happening, and we found these three dead bodies that were just kind of left there. And then there was like these we don't know if they were actual spirits or ghosts. They were like these ethereal beings just kind of floating around, just watching us, but we didn't attack them. And so we figured that these were the spirits of the dead people. And so when we did the next game yesterday, we took the bodies to the cleric, gave him a proper burial. Now we're on our way to deliver this package to a place called Arkenhall, which is this like which contains a huge like book library, kind of almost like a College of Winterhold esque from Skyrim
Uh-huh.
type vibes. And we ended up having to we tried to fight off a wave of giant ants, but they kept coming, so we all just bolted because running away is always an option.
Mhm. Do you know what's in the package?
We do not. We know if all we know is
Is
when we try
anyone
to
gonna
shake
check?
it because we think we know it's solid because nothing was rattling around when we shook it, but we did not open the package, so we don't know what's coming after us if it's for the or not.
What happened when you shook it?
Oh, nothing. It just says
Nothing?
if it wasn't like rattling around or anything. They get
Okay.
the game shadow
Oh.
the game master just said it just feels solid. It does not rattle around loosely or anything.
Is anyone gonna open it?
Don't know. We'll find out in a couple weeks, I guess.
Mm. You should open it.
Yeah, we'll see. But so tonight, what we're going to be discussing, if you had not guessed by the awesome thumbnail that Michael Dale made, who is also in the chat currently, who also
He's
made the
changing the
awesome.
subject because he doesn't want to open the box.
What's in the
You should do it.
box?
Chat says open the box.
Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens. So, and then I like TTRP Prophet is also in the chat. Thank you for joining. I like this comment where he said during the song, it's like my headphones fell out. My mom just grounded me
Oh,
because Michael added no words in the theme song, but it doesn't bother me that much. So, but
I
anyway,
don't know if
sorry.
my ears can take it.
Yeah, so I have been doing nothing but been munching on cough drops for like the last couple of weeks because I have this cough that will just not go away. So I apologize if that bothers anyone on here, but I've just been having that's the only way I've been able to handle it. So, but anyways, before I lose my train of thought again, so we tonight we're going to be discussing because this was based off a post that I saw Miss Harmony post talking when she was talking about Treasure Planet one day. What was kind of the reasoning behind that Treasure Planet post? Because I remember seeing that.
I think the Treasure Planet post was that I watched Treasure Planet for the first time, and it was inspired by the fact that I watched Treasure Planet for the first time. I think Alyssa made the actual insightful commentary. Did you mean to invite Alyssa? Am I the wrong person?
Oh no, I guess I missed the part where I saw that it was your first time watching it because it's been around for so long. And even though it didn't do as well as other movies, it's still known as such a classic like Disney movie.
Yeah, I didn't really have any insightful commentary about it. I was like, "Yeah, this is pretty good." And, Alyssa came in with all sorts of insightful commentary about it, and I'm just realizing I think you meant to invite Alyssa.
Oh no, I mean I've been needing to get you on a stream
Yeah.
anyway, so this is perfectly fine. But we're talking about running child, how we would run like some of our favorite childhood classics, like at the game table, because there's a lot of people out there. Like a lot of the games are inspired by like what we see, what we watch, what we read. Because we're also going to be talking about like books as well on top of this as
Mhm.
well. And so, like I know for me, and also just because of for me right off the bat, I immediately think about when I think of a childhood movie I've watched that I would translate to the table. Especially because I use the imagery for the thumbnail for this video for this stream tonight is a Black Cauldron. It was
Mhm.
one of those Disney movies that also really didn't do well, but it's such like a classic as well. And when you think about it too, Black Culture literally is a story of a Dungeons and Dragons game. When you think about it, because you have your fighter, the old guy, I would consider him as like a bard maybe, and I would guess the girl is probably like a magic user or maybe of some sort. I'm not entirely for sure.
I
It's been
don't
so long since I've
know.
seen the
I'm
movie.
not actually sure how old that movie is, because it could be that a Dungeons& and Dragons game is like the Black Cauldron and not the reverse,
I
depending on how old it
believe
is. I think it's '80s though, right? But
I'm
I
about to
actually
double
don't
check and
remember,
see.
like, I haven't seen that one since I was maybe 7 years old, so I don't remember a lot about that one.
You could be right because it said this movie came out in 1985, but I remember seeing it in like maybe the late 90s,
Yeah,
early
okay.
2000s was like the first time I ever watched it. So
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was that old too.
Yeah, it's older than I am for sure.
So you could be right. It
But
could be very
well,
much
it's
based off.
younger than D&D. Younger than D&D. But actually, I don't know much about the lore behind that movie because I don't remember that movie. I was, like, a child when I saw it.
Okay, so I'll explain. I'll
Mhm.
just give you like a condensed version of the movie real quick. So it centers around this kind of like this farmhand boy with his like his uncle with his old uncle and like this little pig that they take care of. Now the pig though has powers that the pig can like see into the future by putting its snout in the water, and it makes the imagery. It's one villain in the movie. He's called the Horned King, and this is like the Horned King is like one of the most badass Disney villains, and has like one of the most amazing designs that I've ever seen. And it's always something I wanted to mess with in like a game is have the Horned King villain. But apparently, the Horned King is after the pig because the Horned King is looking after this item called the Black Cauldron, which the Black Cauldron basically bring about like the greatest of evils into the world. And so now the farmhand boy has to take this pig and try to get as far away as they can and make sure the Horned King doesn't get his hands on the pig. And that's when he meets like this old man that's like this his old man. He's like almost like a bard. He's got like a little cape and a little hat, and then he runs. And then at one point he does get captured, and he comes across this girl. That's just she just happens to be going through the castle, and she's like, "Oh, hello, how you doing tonight? Let's get out of here." It's like one of those weird comedic moments.
I feel like I probably need to rewatch that. I've been told I do. Michael says it's based on a book. I believe him. This one is sort of a gap in my knowledge, so yeah, I've cats playing in the background, so I don't know that you can play the trailer. They might get you oh, wait,
Probably
you're on
not.
Rumble. I have no idea the rules on Rumble.
I have YouTube and Rumble, but I wouldn't want to risk getting
Oh, okay.
copyright struck either way. So
Okay. But yeah,
otherwise, I
I'm,
would.
I'm not too sure of the lore of that one. My so my childhood classics, I actually thought you were gonna talk about that this was gonna be about books. Because we're about to expose, like, a massive gap in my knowledge because I don't watch many movies. I guess I did as a kid, but I don't really now. Um, but, I mean, I think my childhood classic movies that I would consider would be, like, Neverending Story and, the oh gosh, David Bowie Goblin King. What's The Labyrinth?
Labyrinth.
Um,
Now that one I still see. I have not seen the
oh
Labyrinth
yeah.
yet.
Oh man, that one's
Yeah.
good.
Now I have been
And
getting flamed so much because there's all these
mhm.
old movies I haven't seen. Like I literally just watched Conan the Barbarian for the first time like
Mm,
last month or like 2 months
okay.
ago. So and then I've been
Um,
like because
okay.
go ahead.
You wanna know the ultimate secret though about me that I just like I totally just masquerade as a nerd girl
Uh-oh.
because I have not seen Star Wars, like any of them.
All right. Hold on. Something just weird happened with my
Oh no. I scared him off. All right. I have no idea if we're still live, but now that Hunter's gone, it is the Harmony Ginger Show. Thank you for coming. Um, all donations to Hunter in this point in time will be refunneled to the Harmony Ginger Foundation. I don't even know if anyone's in chat. Oh, yeah. We have Michael and the TT Prophet. Thanks, guys, for coming. Oh, yeah. Okay, I now realize that the chat is like 10 minutes behind. This is great. I'll carry this, guys. Don't worry. And Michael has just discovered I haven't seen Star Wars. Yep. Never. Not once. I know, like, a lot of people, like, told me I should, and it was because it was, my brother was really into Star Wars, and I didn't wanna be like my brother, so I just stayed away from Star Wars as a kid and never got around to watching it. I loved Lord of the Rings. I liked, a lot of the fantasy stuff. I actually wrote a list of my childhood classics that I've incorporated at the table. So basically I use so I don't like I kind of kept this to like childhood classics, and I would say that the most influential to me have been like the Wizard of Oz books, C.S. Lewis, and probably the Redwall series. I think those have probably influenced my taste in fantasy the most. Um, what I like about the Wizard of Oz books is oh, what's the author's name? L. Frank Baum, I think. He basically made a fantasy world that wasn't trying to preach to anybody. It was just trying to exist for what it is. And I like to use that in my table all the time. Just the idea of presenting fantasy for what it is. And if my players find meaning in it, then they find meaning in it. It's not because I'm driving some lesson into them, you know? Oh, I see. What did Harms play with as a kid of the late 80s, early 90s? So I was actually born in 89. So I'm technically an 80s kid, but my 90s friends do not like when I say that. They're like, you're born in the tail end of 89. You had 1 month of 90s. No, you have 1 month of 80s. And yeah, that's technically true. So what did I play with as a kid? I was really into games as a kid. Like I was into like early video games and board games, but like I mean, obviously they were simpler ones. They were like Monopoly because that was the game my family had, and Scrabble. Yep, I really liked Scrabble, but I guess as a kid, I mean, I wasn't really a Barbie girl. I was kind of I was a video game kid. Like I was addicted to like I was addicted to like games like let's see, I had an SNES, so I remember playing a lot of Mario. Chrono Trigger was a bigger one at a time. That's what I've been thinking about recently. Um, and let's see. Oh, I had an old computer and I used to really love to play the Commander Keen games. He's not coming back, guys. I think he's gone. He didn't tell me he wasn't coming back, but man. Oof. I've seen this happen to someone else. This is totally a repeat of the t-shirted historian incident. Name a Disney movie and let's make a campaign and I'll help. What Disney movie would we make a campaign of? And we have to keep this to old Disney. New Disney is not my thing. Let's see. Old Disney movie to make a campaign out of. I think a really good one. Gosh, don't say Aladdin. Don't say Aladdin. Is Ferngully Disney? No, that's not Disney. Never mind, not Ferngully then. We'll say Aladdin. I think Aladdin's probably one of my favorite ones for that, just because you have all of the elements of a good story in it, and you have this great MacGuffin. I mean, there's the oh, is he back? Oh, he's back, maybe. We'll see. Um, there is we can't hear you, Hunter. Oh, now we can.
Oh, jeez.
Go on. Yeah, there you go.
All right.
I
Oh,
tried to carry
jeez.
your show. It was hard.
I am so
I was
sorry
talking to
about that. I did
Aladdin.
not realize. I didn't realize my phone was just gonna go, nope, forget you, and just shut off and disconnect my hotspot. So I'm so
I
sorry.
I just went with it, you know. Ooh, Mulan would be a good campaign. Yeah. I don't know how you do Beauty and the Beast. I'm not really sure. So my idea of a campaign though isn't like a set story, it's a setting. So I'm kind of looking at the settings because in when I run a campaign, I like to just sort of present the setting and let the players sort of tell the story, right?
Mm.
And I don't know how you do Beauty and the Beast, but oh gosh. Yeah, Aladdin is the best Disney movie. I'm gonna say that. They were saying like yeah, I don't know. Pocahontas, I don't know how you do.
Yep.
Um, Jungle Book is
Trying to.
cool. But like if I did a Jungle Book like campaign, it would definitely be more Jumanji than Jungle Book, which is another childhood
Ooh,
classic movie that I really liked.
Jumanji would be
Um,
fun for kind of like that to have that isekai kind of like effect
I don't
of a
know. I
game.
don't think Jumanji's an isekai. I think it's like a reverse isekai.
That's similar, but it's basically you kind of like you're basically like it's weird because you're playing a game where you're part of a game.
Yeah. I mean, that's fun. That's what my players did today. They knew they were part of this DM's game and they went with it. It was fun. Um, but yeah, I think the Jungle Book or something like that, bringing story elements into the real world, that could be really fun. I think
Yeah.
my friend Victor Gorchev wrote something that really supports that. Actually, it was Blacklight is kind of very similar in scope.
Yeah, that's kind of like I backed Blacklight and
Mhm.
I recently ordered the hardcover. I'm just waiting for it to arrive any day now at this point. But Blacklight
Ooh.
Blacklight and even his Modern Necessities book that he made touches in on more of that get kind of style where it's more like it's like modern day, but you have the fantasy all mixed into it. So you got like your elves and your dwarves, but it's basically it's Will Smith's The Bright movie where you have the orc cops and the elven
Yeah, yeah.
gangsters kind of
Yeah,
happening
yeah.
basically. But
That
so
that movie gets better every time I watch it. I hated it the first time. I've seen it like 3 times now, and it's better on rewatch.
yeah, one movie. This now one of my absolute all-time favorite Disney movies that I watched. You probably have never seen it, but it's a little movie called The Great Mouse Detective.
Um, was that for some reason I feel like is that related to American Tail or no?
No, it is not.
Okay,
American
never
Tail
mind.
was
I haven't seen it.
DreamWorks, I think.
Okay.
And
I haven't
but
seen that one
no,
then.
The Great Mouse Detective is basically if Sherlock Holmes was a mouse, is what it is. That's literally the whole star. Is there's this mouse? It's like this it starts with a little girl mouse. Her dad gets kidnapped by Sir Ratigan, who's this well-known like evil rat. So basically, he's the Moriarty of the game of the movie. And he goes to Sir Basil of Baker Street, and this is basically the Sherlock Holmes. And I forget what the other guy that becomes the Watson of the movie his name is, but he's like this big old like smart guy, and he's like always like trying to calm down like Basil, and it's like Basil, this is a ridiculous idea, and Basil's like I don't care, we're doing it anyways. But it's like one of my favorite like childhood movies, and it's like and it's literally like through whenever the Sherlock Holmes books were made, that 80s era of London is what they're all going through, like going through the bars and the sewers and all
You
that.
know, I have a friend that quotes that movie all the time, and I still haven't seen it. But I've always gosh, I go back and forth on like do I enjoy like personified anthropomorphic characters in my D&D games? And um my general instinct is no, because I enjoy like a human-centric fantasy world, right? But then again, I think about how much I loved Redwall as a kid and how I went through like all 15 of those books at the time. I think there's like maybe 30 now. I lost track
I
after
never
a
got
certain
into
point.
Redwall. Just
Um,
never got into it.
it's a very solid fantasy series. Like, it's low fantasy. There's no magic. It's just anthropomorphic rats. But I mean, I like them, and the books aren't afraid to show like violence and the horrors of war. They're in a somewhat child appropriate way. Um, I mean, those books like meant a lot to me as a kid. And I think about it and it's like, would I play an RPG like that? And the answer is yes. And actually, so it was funny because I posted on Twitter at one point, I said, I wish there was like a Redwall-esque game, RPG that had like full faction control rules and like kind of war game integration. And a lot of people were like replying with, well, that already exists. And then they'd show me like a game like Root or something, or like the Root RPG, or a couple
Mhm.
other ones, including Ares Chronicles game that I
Oh
can't
yeah,
think of the name of right now.
it's
Um, and
I think it's just
but it was
Chronicles of Ares is what it's called.
okay. But it was funny because it was like, that wasn't quite what I asked for because I was asking for ones with faction control rules. But it sounds like Chronicles of Ares is implementing that in his newer game.
Yeah, he's working
So
on
we'll
a
see if
second
it,
edition of
yeah.
it right now. I have his first edition, which while it is great, I just don't like that's nothing but like D&D walls of text for me. That's one of
Hmm.
my biggest things. Because okay,
Yeah.
so one of the other things I want to bring up is not just like what Child Clocks you were at the table, what other games would you run those under? Like for me, for example, if
Okay.
I wanted to run the Black Cauldron, I think I would use Shadow Dark more than I would D&D
Hmm.
because I would focus more.
Why?
I would go more human centric, of course, but I would focus on
Hmm.
like the lack of the dark vision, how the monsters always can like see in the dark, kind of deep vibe, because that's very much kind of the vibe Black Cauldron kind of goes for. Is it's dark and it's gritty, and there these the
Hmm.
characters in the book and even the movie are like constantly like having to like look over their shoulders for whatever will come at them.
Yeah, Shadow Dark seems like a decent system for that. Let's see. Other ones mentioned, is Aladdin a warlock? Is a good question. But if
I would
going back to
say,
Aladdin, oh gosh, because no, wait, I think Michael has like the perfect answer for this. I'm so sorry. I'm like jumping around
oh, you're
all over the
fine.
place. I just got done running a game, guys. I don't have much brain power left. But okay. He says American Tail as a Boot Hill Bronstein. I think that's actually I don't think I can top that answer.
You would have to
Um,
do definitely based on well, I think it was the third one where they're actually in that western town. Was that the third movie? Or it's like
I
that
don't
western
remember.
town that's ran by
Yeah.
cats. It's like it's been forever
I
since I
mean, that
watched
sounds so
American
good
Tail.
though. Yeah, I was about to say if you haven't watched American Tail, I'm gonna need you to change your name. But
um,
Snow
oh, I
White
had
could be a
another
banger.
thought, and then what else was
Yeah.
I thinking of? Oh, like another example I was thinking of was if I wanted to run the DreamWorks Sinbad movie as like a campaign, I think Seven Sea would be a good one. That's not one I've had a chance to play yet, but it's one I've heard a lot of good things about.
So something I thought about like looking up before the show, or I didn't think about looking up before the show, and that's the problem because there's a definite answer to this question. And I'm hi Nestor. And I'm
It's
certain
fine.
that
We
I'm
don't
going to
mind the
be
cats.
proven wrong here. But is there do you know, has somebody published a tabletop role playing game with like the Land of Oz as a main setting? The answer to that is probably yes, but I can't remember because I remember reading something about it, but I
Okay,
don't know if it was ever published.
I should have pulled these books out for this because I got all three as a Christmas
Oh, you
gift like
have them?
2 years
Okay.
ago. So okay, so
What
there's
was it?
he's a,
Who did
the
that?
author's name. Let me explain really quick.
Yeah, yeah.
The author's name is Andrew Kolb, and he's created
Okay.
now three books based on like these childhood fantasy settings. The first one he did was The Land of Oz, but it's more of Oz like as a futuristic kind of city with faction. It does with faction rules and stuff. So it's got like trolley carts going through the air, these big old green cities, and then like these outskirts area. It's more almost like an industrialized version of Oz more than movie Oz. The second book that he created was called Neverland. Now, Neverland takes place sometime after like the movie, where the three kids actually are trapped on the island. Wendy becomes a hag. the really smart one, I forget his name, becomes a lich, and then the younger brother grows old and is like this pop is like a expert blacksmith.
No, you're totally right. Somebody did do that, and
And then
that sounds actually fairly accurate to Book Oz, um, because these are ones that I kind of take some inspiration from because I'm running like a industrial setting,
mhm,
and I mean I try to take a little bit of inspiration from the first three Oz books. They're really really solid childhood classics if you haven't read
yeah,
them.
and then the
Um,
third one, the newest one he's
mhm.
released is it's Wonderland, and it's basically like Alice in Wonderland, but it's treated like a dungeon crawl. So you draw cards
Oh,
and you draw like all the rooms because like not every map of the dungeon is going to be the same. You literally have like different pieces of the dungeon, and you're just drawing cards to, like put them all together because it utilizes playing cards.
oh, these books look super high quality too. I'm, like, actually
Oh, they're really
tempted.
nice. I really wish I
I
had thought
They're, like,
about them and
only
brought them out. You would have
$20
loved
on
them.
Amazon. Oh my god,
Super
am I
cheap.
gonna buy a, Oz fantasy role-playing setting for $20 while we
If
apparently
you
it's
buy
$2.90,
Oz,
so it's
I
not the
want in on
system.
that game.
Oh, like I'd run it. No, you don't understand. I'd buy it and I'd read it and I'd mine ideas from it to my main game, which is going
And
pretty
since we're
well,
talking,
so
yeah, and since we're talking about books, this is one thought I've been having for like now. So we already have for Lord of the Rings. There are like 3 or 4 different versions of TTRPG for Lord of the Rings. Why is there not yet a Narnia TTRPG of all things? It would be perfect.
I don't know. That's a good question. It feels like it would. Is there not? I assume
There's
somebody would
not.
have done it. Oh my goodness,
I saw
nobody did
someone made
that.
like someone saw made like a tiny man-made one. And apparently, I think I read there was like
Uh-huh.
a German little like RPG setting someone made, but there's not like an actual official licensed Narnia TTRPG game that I was able to find, which I think would be perfect because you could literally just use it D&D with it because you could play as all the different monstrous races and the animal races that they have. You got your dwarves. I don't know if they have elves in Narnia or not, but I guess you could kind of flavor them as like the different race of people that they have in Narnia. And I'm sure, like, if you want to be like just like a intelligent animal, you could easily find ways to work that in as well if you wanted to do that.
So unfortunately, I did look it up, and the answer as to why one doesn't exist is actually fairly boring. The answer is basically it's not in public domain yet, and the Lewis estate hasn't granted the license.
Mm. But I mean, Lord of the Rings isn't in public domain, is it, or is it in public domain?
Uh, I am unaware of the legalities surrounding that.
JP got
But I
rockets
think
in the
well,
chat.
so no, I think they got a license to it because I know certain companies like Fantasy Flight have a license to make Lord of the Rings games. I think that's a license thing too. But I think it's just that the Tolkien estate has granted license and the Lewis estate hasn't.
Yeah, because
Would
I
be my
haven't ran it
guess.
yet.
Hmm.
Sorry, I haven't ran it yet, but I do have because I bought like this free League Humble bundle a while back. I got the One Ring as part of that and some of their supplements. So it's one I've been still needing to look at. And then I bought this from like Double Nine Games because I came across there was a it's an old Lord of the Rings role playing adventure game, and it it goes along with the old school like MERP game, which was based off like this the really of Rollmaster if I recall correctly, but in this version it's a rules light 2d6 rolling game instead,
Okay.
so it simplified it down like a lot. And so I ended up getting that from Noble Knight Names for like $20. The box is crap, but I mean, it contains everything inside of it. Like it still has like the maps, the cutout minis that you could use. It still has everything in the box. The box just isn't like perfect, but I don't care about that too much. So
Right, right. Yeah, man, I'm like thinking now, like the stuff that you could do with a Narnia RPG. I actually really like the idea, but it sounds like unfortunately it can't happen yet. They need to follow up along the Narnia Alliance, whatever world that Golden Compass movie was from. Definitely needed to be completed film wise. Man,
now I did read the His Dark Materials trilogy when I was like in 8th grade. Read all 3 books. and I loved them. And I think the movie made around it was the original movie they did absolute garbage. Now the TV show that I heard that they've made in recent years around the series, I've heard good things about it. I have not seen it yet though.
So weirdly, I think for a setting to be good and applicable for games, it doesn't necessarily need to have a great movie behind it or a great series,
No, I'm not
which is
saying that at
weird to
all.
say. Yeah, but because I think there are some settings that actually work very well. I mean, we were talking about the movie Bright like before or after we started the
Hmm.
stream. I can't remember. But like the movie Bright, I mean, that's basically like Shadow Dark. But that's like not a children's movie, but it's basically Shadow Dark. Um, Shadow Run, not Dark.
Yeah,
Run. It is basically Shadow Run. I'm sorry, they're so close. Um,
Shadowrun
right.
without all the futuristic stuff, basically.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
close.
but like I'm just
But
thinking about like oh, I was like I'm sorry, it's like me losing my connection really just threw this whole stream out the window now, so I'm feel like I'm trying to play catch up.
oh no, you're fine. I was
Oh,
just talking while you're gone.
have a
We
good
were
night,
talking about what
TT
Disney
Prophet.
movie. Oh, good night, TT Profit. We were just talking about like what Disney movies would be good adapted in an RPG. Um, But I mean, I feel like movies themselves don't really have enough setting detail a lot of times in order to adapt one to one unless they come from a world with wider lore, which I think a lot of Disney movies are set in our actual world with like some more mythical elements, right? Since they're based on folklore, fairy tales. Um, Bright fell a little short. Yeah, I thought so too. Watch it again. I hated it the first time and had like a blast with it the second time. I don't know. I think the first time I took it too seriously. Like the more times you watch it, the better it gets. Um,
Michael, I don't know if that's supposed to be a weird attempt of a backhand compliment or not, but I'm going to take it as a compliment nonetheless. So I love you, bro. Oh. But
but
oh, I had
go
another
ahead.
thought. Oh, I was gonna mention we were talking on the back end before the stream started how I just discovered the Shannara trilogy, the original trilogy, not
Hmm.
the other 40 plus books that came after it. But I was
Yeah.
talking about like again what I love about it's post apocalyptic Earth. And because of the post-apocalypse, magic came back, causing druids, elves, dwarves all kind of become into existence. And so you got this weird influx of like magic meets technology still kind of happening. And I was remember discovering and watching the video about the book series. I'm like, I would have loved this as a kid. This is right up my alley, especially since I've more discovered I'm more into like that science fantasy or like modern fantasy kind of settings for games. Because Barrels of Borderlands that I talk about all the time, it's that science fantasy because you have it's basically the D&D world with robots and black powder mixed into it is what it
Yeah.
is.
That's also Victor Gorchev, right? Or am I mixing it
That
up?
is not. That is Matthew
No.
Tapp.
That's Matthew Tapp. Right. I don't know why I mixed those two up. Okay. No, I know the difference between the two people, but their games. His was Bunkers and I'm losing it. Okay.
Victor Gorchev had Modern Necessities,
No,
which was the old school
no. I
essential.
I was he had a Keep on the Borderlands reprise or something, I think, that I'm
Oh,
mixing it
Victor
up
did?
with.
I did not know that.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bears of Borderlands
Um,
basically is taking
okay.
Keep on the Borderlands and reskinning it with more of the
That's
science
yeah.
into it, is what Bears of
You know,
Borderlands is.
I got to meet Matthew Top last year, and I looked through his game, but like I for some reason mixed him up with Victor there.
Hmm.
Um, it's been a long day,
Yeah,
but
I was actually talking to Matthew earlier today, and he talked
oh
about how he
cool,
met you. I think he said he met you
yeah,
at the Dave Con is when he met
yeah,
you.
yeah, we did, yeah, he was cool. I
Mhm.
liked his fiance too. She was awesome.
Oh, she's a
Um,
sweetheart. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like I'm supposed to be getting my Portal to Adventure Kickstarter this upcoming Monday soon. I'm really
Hmm.
looking forward to that because it's got the all the Arduin stuff that comes with it as well from Emperor's Choice Games, and then it's also got some stuff from Griffin the Blackmore Bunch mixed in with it as well. It's basically 3 games in one, so I'm really looking
Mm,
forward to getting that. So
okay. Um, you know, we were talking about implementations of things in games. This is kind of a childhood classics in games. This is a really bad one. I definitely took elements from one of my favorite books when I was a kid, which this is not a kid's book. I just read it when I was 12, so I count it as a kid's book. But like the Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide trilogy, right?
Oh yeah.
I took a I recently took like the elements from the restaurant at the end of the universe and put them into a put them into like a demonic bar in game, and had like the it was like the cow in the bar was like walking out like, "Welcome, I'm your main dish." And he's like really ready to be eaten. He's excited about it, just like the cow from the Hitchhiker's Guide. I don't know. It was very stupid. But
Yeah.
I think there are
Tomorrow on my I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, I'm just saying, I think I'm lucky that, like, my players haven't read the same things that I have because I can just pull these elements out and, it's kind of it's like having an Appendix N, but, I mean, I know we're talking about, like, childhood, um, books and movies, but, I mean, they all kind of incorporate into a bigger, like, Appendix N where you can just pull things out and, like, you have all sorts of stories that are in your mind and all sorts of settings, and you're like, I have no idea who this old witch I rolled is. But if you've read something like I don't know, the second book in the Wizard of Oz series, then you know exactly what to do with her. Or if you've read Three Hearts, Three Lions. Yeah, that which makes a lot more sense now, right? I mean,
Mhm.
there's a lot of elements that you can really pull from these childhood classics, and not just childhood classics, but classic literature in general that you can just stick in your game. And if your players haven't read it, they won't know. But also, like, I think it is good to have your players read that stuff. Okay, can I address something in chat?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
What?
JP Gatrokits
JP got rock.
got rockets. Oh yeah, that makes sense. JP got rockets. Wow, I feel dumb with how I pronounce that. It's totally Hitchhiker series is totally for kids. It's right there with Dr. Seuss and Winnie the Pooh. I loved it when I was 12. I was about to give it to my nephew for Christmas, but his parents are pretty strict on what he is and isn't allowed to read and watch. So I read it again like over Christmas just to make sure it was okay for him. And I'm like reading it, I'm like, I didn't remember like all the references to prostitution in this. Um because it was like there were like so many references to like the triple-breasted horror of whatever planet, right? And I'm sorry if I shouldn't say that on your channel. And
Oh,
I'm
it's
like,
fine.
man, this is this for kids? I don't know. Maybe it
Um,
is. But I like ended up not giving it to him because I didn't want his parents to get mad at me. Yeah.
yeah, but so I remember back an author, a lady author I followed was posting about books she read because there was a conversation for a while about like why don't men read more books now? And it's because a lot of books you see like in stores today, it's like a romantasy, mostly directed towards women,
Yeah.
mostly when you go to stores. But then I started going through like I started recalling all the books that I read growing up, and they were all there was some fantasy. Like I read Lord of the Rings, I read Harry Potter, a couple other like fantasy magic books, but I was more to like either urban fiction or science fiction or even historical fiction for some of them. And one trilogy I pulled up that it's funny because it was more geared towards girls, but the premises behind the book caught my attention. It was called the Uglies trilogy, and
I don't
it's
know
a
how. I knew you were gonna say that one because I just had a conversation with someone last week and they're like, "Yeah, I read this weird series of books when I was a kid and I immediately thought of that series." And they're like, "It's the Uglies trilogy." I'm like,
well, it was a
"Literally."
trilogy, and then
Yeah, no,
he
I
made
remember that
the
one.
author made a
Yeah.
fourth book, and then everyone started saying you can't have call it a trilogy if there's more than three books.
Oh,
So it was a
yeah.
funny thing, but I remember that I really enjoyed it because it's a dystopian society that how you live is based on how pretty you look, basically.
Yeah. And you
And
get, like,
it's
plastic surgery when you go through puberty and yeah.
yeah, and then it had the cyberpunk element too because some of the cosmetic surgery you had gave you like
Mhm.
technological advances. Like they had the eyes that acted almost like computerized chips and stuff as well. So it was really a really cool series to read. Like like cosmetic surgeries that enhanced your human abilities.
Yeah. Definitely. And Patty brings up one in the chat that I just like didn't even think about when thinking about childhood classics, but I absolutely should have, which was the Lemony Snicket books. Because
Hmm.
if you're looking for something weird to implement at the table, you can like basically implement elements from any of these books to make an entire village weird. Like an entire village where everybody is wearing what is in, and what is in changes every day, and you're sneered at if you guess wrong and wear something that is out. Like that's weird already, right? And I mean, there's all sorts of like just weird things that happen in those books that you can just kind of take and apply to villages, like villages where everyone is afraid as the lady from the third book, where they put like piles of cans next to their door so that they can wake up if someone enters their house, or they
Oh
don't use
yeah.
doorknobs because they're afraid it's going to explode into 1,000 pieces. Like you can apply any of these like strange traits that people have in those books to like the wider you apply them, the more they're like, okay, there is something like horribly wrong here, and
You could
you can
easily
definitely use it
do.
as like mhm.
I immediately think of, if you were to do Series of Unfortunate Events, I would immediately go for Call of Cthulhu for that kind of a
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, it's got a very Call of Cthulhu vibe, I think.
Yeah.
And I can't even place it, but it's got the weird Call of Cthulhu vibe.
Yeah,
Um,
just without the all the eldritch horror stuff, but it's got that
mhm.
deep, dark mystery, kind of like the shadowy organization when you get into the later books as well.
Oh,
Because I
yes,
read
I
all
think
13 books. I
you're
read
mhm.
the entire series.
Yeah, same. But I think you're dead on that. Um, that's absolutely correct. Call of Cthulhu is probably the right system for it. But I mean, I wouldn't even run the books as written. I would adapt certain elements to them just to add a feeling of unease to a setting. Like like the shadowy organizations and the strange traits that people had. Like I said, apply them en masse and players will start to ask questions.
Yeah. There's a couple other books that I just recalled. One I remember, the other I can't. The first one I was thinking about is the Spiderwick Chronicles. Would be good for like
Mm.
some fantasy elements mixed in with like a modern day teen adventure kind of stuff. And then oh, I wish I could remember the name of this book series. I remember picking it up. I didn't read every single one of them, but I remember reading most of them. And it was about this. It was this fantasy world in which you had like You had like a floating cities on rocks, and you also had like sky ships that you had to have like these magical like empowered rocks that act as engines to help them fly.
I don't know what book that
I
is. I feel
cannot
like I should
remember
know. I don't know.
I feel like, because I know you have to leave here soon,
Yeah.
but I'm like, it's gonna bother me that it's bothering me. It bothers me that I cannot remember the name of the book, and I know I'm probably gonna end up finding it like after
Send it
I
to me
we get
when you
off of
do
here.
because I don't know that one. I feel like I might.
I feel like one of the author. I feel like I know it's like the author of one of a book I did read was the also same author of that book. I just cannot remember the author's name to save my life now, and it's driving me up the wall that I cannot remember his name.
I'm sorry. I can't help.
Oh, you're perfectly fine. But this was just a fun conversation
Yeah.
I figured we could have together. Just thinking about like, hey, like if we see movies, we read books, how would you imply those kind of like at your table? And like, what would you do? With the exception of, oh, let's also lose the internet connection for like
Yeah,
5 minutes,
it's
really
like, "Oh
quick.
gosh, I'm not sure if I know your audience, so we'll see how this goes." I don't know.
I mean, you got JP Got Rocks, you got Patty's
Yeah, no, I
Parlor,
know
you got Michael
Patty, I know
Dale.
Michael Dale,
Yep.
and it's good to meet those of you who I didn't meet before. Unfortunately, my time's a little short today, so I
I
apologize.
think TT Profit is I think it's Todd Pickens on X, because I
Is
know
that
he
Todd
was sharing this
Pickens?
around earlier. I think so. I'm not entirely 100%, but I know Todd
Oh.
Pickett said he was going to watch it. So
Oh, okay. I had no idea.
yeah, he's a cool dude. I like the stuff he's made for Shadow Dark and all that. So
Oh,
I really hated.
his art is amazing.
Yeah, I was bummed when he had to take down his playmat that he had the Shadow Dark rules on it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, oh man, that would have been so nice to have, because like How many times it's like you just sit there and you're like, I can't remember a rule, and you're trying to have to flip through all the pages to try to find that one rule.
I didn't know he had to take that down. I knew I had to take
Uh,
down a
the
shirt
I
that had the ampersand.
it's something with the third party policy for
Mhm.
Shadow Dark that you can't like take like the tables from the book and put them into your own
Ah,
stuff. So
no, that makes sense. That 100% makes sense.
yeah, I think that was
Um,
the big thing. And I'm just like,
mhm.
oh come on, because I know one of the biggest complaints about the GM screen for Shadow Dark is it doesn't contain the necessary stuff that people want on a GM
Yeah.
screen. That's the biggest complaint I've heard about. And I don't use GM screens that often, anyways. I'm always an open table
Yeah, I
guy.
don't
So
either.
yeah.
When I run in real life on Saturdays, I'm no GM screen, I'll roll everything publicly. Um, yeah, players see all my rolls. I wouldn't have it any other way. They keep me honest. Anyway,
Well,
I gotta get going,
thank you for
unfortunately.
joining me today. Sorry about the craziness
Yeah.
that just happened to happen from it, but this was. I'm glad we finally
Oh,
got to
it's
just.
fine.
I'm glad we got to still get
It's fine.
online and we get to talk. So because we've been wanting to,
Look,
I've wanted to do
look.
this for a while. So
That happened to my friend T-shirted Historian when he went on a different channel once. Like the host disconnected in a thunderstorm and he had to hold up the show after that. And I've always thought, I'm glad that's never happened to me. What would I do in that situation? I don't know. I hope I never have to find out. Well, today we found out I floundered. But
so share like your social and stuff. Tell everyone where they can find you at.
yeah, so I'm mainly on X. My X is just at Ginger Blast. I do have a YouTube that I stream on occasionally. That is at Harmony_Ginger on YouTube. Um, Thanks, guys. This was a fun conversation. Thank you for inviting me.
Glad we'll have to try to find something else to talk about again sometime, and hopefully
Oh, for
everything will go
sure.
fine. So
I'll come back. All right.
all right.
Bye, guys.
So
Oh,
all
sorry.
right.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, this is kind of a short one because Harmony has to cut and run, but life
I
always comes first. So
Yeah, I have a
all right.
thing that
Yep,
happened tonight. All right.
you're
Anyway,
fine. Yep.
farewell.
So thank you for joining us, everyone. You all have a good night, and join me tomorrow for the Ultracast as I do another session of my Fleshed Out campaign with the guys. So have a good night, everyone.